Okay, we are live. I'm gonna wait to see who's here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit, see who shows up. Sorry guys, it's really hot where I'm at, so excuse the hair. And I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm gonna pull up over here. 1 second. So I can watch this from here. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just had to set up the stream so I could see what was going on. So yeah, we have made it to 1,000 subscribers. This is pretty incredible for me. I started this channel I want to say, when did I really start? Like January of 2021 was when I got really serious about it. And to have come this far with all you guys is just I see that. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Congrats to us all, man. Like getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is not easy. So I couldn't have done it without all the support. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a crazy year, or like 15 months, but we did it. And I just hope you guys have been enjoying all the content. I've been trying to come up with like original ideas of stuff to do on YouTube, because I just feel like in the music video essayist category, like a lot of stuff has been covered, like a lot of stuff. And so I think I said this in my 500 subscribers celebration. I was like, I'm always trying to come up with like some kind of angle of stuff that's interesting, like to cover. That's why, like, especially with the Beach Boys stuff, which I've been putting out and you guys have been enjoying, which is just great for me to see, is like they're a band that I feel like has not gotten their due in sort of the whole like echelon of rock legends and stuff. So for me, like doing those videos on them on Smile, and then the recent one I put out kind of in celebration right as we got to 1,000 subscribers was like sort of something I just wanted out in the world, you know? But I'm trying to like figure out, now we made it to 1,000 subscribers, right? I'm trying to figure out like what is the next kind of like phase of the channel in terms of like what I want to talk about. Like I have a whole like spreadsheet on my computer, like right here, of stuff, and like I kind of dipped my toe into like doing some more mainstream stuff. Like I did a Pink Floyd video a while back. Some of you might have seen on the Adam Hart Mother album, which I enjoyed. But I'm trying to decide like how do I talk about sort of like these bands that are more known, and like if you guys would be interested in that in like an interesting way. So I think now for the channel I'm gonna still do like obscure weird stuff that I think people should know about. Like for example, the videos I did on Moondog and the Residents, I felt like for me those were artists that really need to be known by people, especially Moondog, because I feel like as a classical musician, I was trained as that. Like he's sort of still not really talked about in the conservatory that much, and I feel like that's crazy because he's super innovative, and like I mentioned in the video, like just taking jazz harmony but then like throwing it into like classical composition methods and stuff like that. That was kind of like what really I felt was super important to just music, like what Moondog did. Oh, hey man. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for the congratulations. Yeah, it's I think man, I think you were the one who you're from Ukraine, right? So the biggest shout out to you, man. Like I hope and I hope that the video on the Ukrainian folk music was well liked. I've actually been a fan of Ukrainian folk music for a long time, because a lot of the best like symphonies in the 19th century were based on melodies from Ukrainian folk music, because like I mentioned in the video, it's like super melodic and like super long melodies. So yeah, man, I hope you're doing well, and Slava Ukraini. Yeah, man. So what else was I gonna say? Like, yeah, no. So like the reason I did like the Moondog and the Residents videos was like just because like people don't know certain artists, and so that's been kind of my ethos for the first like year of this channel. Is like, who do I listen to that's like really good that other people should hear, and that's kind of how I've been picking stuff. And I definitely want to like do more of that. I'm trying to I wonder like if anyone's in chat Like, would you guys be interested in just a straight up like analysis of like the Beatles? Like, if anybody's in chat, just throw it in the chat. Because like, I feel like I think I mentioned, again, I mentioned this in my last like celebration video when we were at 500 subscribers. I was just like, there's so many Beatles videos on YouTube from like the bigger music video essayist guys that I sort of was just like, is there anything I can add to this? But I am definitely down to do so. You know, like just I will, if you guys are interested. It's the early Beatles. You know what? That's a good point. That is actually a really good point, my man. Because like, I feel like you're right. I feel like everyone focuses on, and I mean, I get why, like Strawberry Fields and you know, like Sergeant Pepper, and that's totally true. But you're actually right, man. People don't really talk about that early stuff that much, comparatively these days, and especially because like, you know, now that I think about it, you just mentioned it, like, the early stuff was like very harmonically interesting, even though the songs were so quick. Yeah, like, oh, I'm glad to hear you're good, man. Yeah, I know that stuff's going on, so I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well, man. But yeah, as far as like the Beatles thing, like you're totally right, man, because like they had a lot of really interesting harmonic structures to those early songs, like "She Loves You" and whatnot, and yeah, people kind of gloss over that. So that is a good suggestion. I'm definitely gonna put that in the spreadsheet because that is interesting, and I am definitely, especially because like people don't even talk about how like what's that song called? Is it Paperback? I think it's Paperback Writer, or is it I Feel Fine? One of the early ones has like the first example of like recorded feedback. I forget. I think it's maybe it's Ticket to Ride. Actually, it's one of them. Like one of them has like this like feedback in the beginning of the song, and it's like super way before the Who or anything like that. So definitely thinking of like, yeah, definitely that's a good idea, man. Thank you for that. Let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, I can. You know what, guys? Why don't I just like screw it? We're celebrating. Early Beatles is what changed music. Definitely. I mean, definitely, and I feel like people do know, but I feel like it's like it just needs to be like hammered over and over again. It's like they wrote their own songs, which we think of today as like people who listen to bands and stuff, like, okay, whatever. But like that was so weird at that time in the early 60s. Like that was just so out of left field. Like, oh, we don't use songwriters. We're just doing everything in-house. It was like unheard of. I mean, everybody else, like from Elvis to, you know, even Chuck Berry a little. I mean, he wrote most of his shit, but everybody who was a star kind of had like some writing, especially like, and I mean, I love the Phil Spector girl groups, which I may do a video about, by the way, but everybody had writers and artists were like separated. The Beatles brought them together, which then everybody else was like, oh shit, I can just write my own stuff and I don't need to like hire, you know. And then of course recently, like, you know, as we know pop music today, it kind of went back to what it was back in the 30s. These days, now you have like artists and writers separated a lot of the time. But yeah, for that brief moment from like the 60s to like the mid 90s, everything kind of, it was like one unit, which was super interesting. Let's see, I'm gonna open my spreadsheet, you guys, and you tell me what you think of some of the stuff. Okay, so like I definitely want to do, and this is kind of like a thing I've noticed on my channel, like whenever I do more of the classical analysis, I feel like it's not as interesting, but I did go to school for that and I studied it for like 4 years. Like I wanted to do a video on Bach's Mass in B minor because it's epic. Let me know in chat if that's something you're interested in. That might be a little dry, but I feel like a lot of that stuff influenced me like as much as any band. So like that's something. Also, I wanted to do a video on the Moody Blues. Sorry, I mean I do want to do a video on the Moody Blues, but 10cc. Do you guys know the band 10cc? If you don't, go check them out. And because I really want to make a video about them because they were the first band, just like to give one of the things they did was they were the first band to do vocal sampling in a way that was like super forward thinking. Like for example, they took their voices, recorded them on tape loops, and then took those tape loops and assigned them to separate keyboards like on a piano, and they made the song I'm Not in Love that way, which like to us nowadays with the way you can manipulate vocals inside of digital recording stations, like with, you know, vocal synth and sampling all this stuff, it doesn't seem that crazy. But in the 1970s to like sit there and meticulously record your own voice like in tune, right? Because there's no tuning back then. You have to record a loop in tune, then assign it to a keyboard, like literally physically, like you press a key and it triggers a tape loop. It's pretty, dude, that's pretty ambitious. Like, let me just go ahead and say, like, even compared to like Pink Floyd and some of the prog bands at the time, like 10cc really did a lot of amazing stuff like that, and like over and over again. And I feel like the Beach Boys in the 70s, I feel like nobody really talks about 10cc that much, and I feel like I want to. So leave in chat if you want to hear that, if you know who they are, etc. And let's see. Also, I'm just gonna read a few more of these, and then we'll just shoot the breeze and see if anybody has any questions. But also, I wanted to do a video on like Primal. Do you guys know the band Primal Scream? Like the whole Manchester scene in England in like the early 90s. Like I wanted to do a video on that because I really love the way, it was so cool the way they combined like house music, which I'm a huge fan of. I haven't done a lot of electronic music videos, like documentary shit yet, but I want to get into more of that as we go forward. But anyways, they took like acid house and like psychedelic rock, like the stuff a lot of us like on this channel really like, you know, The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, that kind of stuff. And they mashed them together in a really interesting way. And I thought I just thought, you know, that's a cool music scene that once again, I feel like doesn't really get talked about. People don't really see its influences that clearly on music today. And I feel like I love Primal Scream. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. The album Loaded. I think the album is called Loaded, right? It's the album with the smiley face. I forget what it's called, but that album is like one of my favorite albums of all time. Screamadelica. Mind fart on that one. But yeah, Screamadelica is one of my favorite albums, and I would definitely want to do a video on that. And then like last thing is, I think this is a good topic for me because there's a few videos, but not a ton. I want to do a Tame Impala video because they're one of my favorite bands of all time. I really feel like I made my video on like the history of psychedelia, and I included them a little bit at the end. But I feel like for me, they really took the ball forward. I don't hear Tennessee, but I added them to my phone. Oh, cool, man. Check them out. Like, they definitely, like, they are very pop in the sense, like, they're very, like, they were mainstream, but, like, they were so innovative. Like, the song I'm Not in Love is all, like I mentioned, this really complex vocal sampling thing they invented. And the album, what's it called? I forget. It's their second album. There's a song called The Wall Street Shuffle. Like, I forget the name. I actually have the album here. Let me, like... I'll look it so I can actually give you a good recommendation. Is it Unknown album? No, it's one sec. I want to do this. Get this right. Sheet Music. Okay, the album is called Sheet Music. That album is released in 1974. It's like one of the coolest records of all time. They have a song on there called "We're the Worst Band in the World." It's fucking hilarious. But they do all this crazy stuff. 10cc, like they down-tune their guitars in the middle of the song and then retune them, which if any of you all play guitar, you know, or any instrument with tuning pegs, like that's kind of hard to do. Like, I mean, if you're a good guitar player, you can do it, but like to down-tune in time and then retune, again, we're talking 1974, there's no recording grid, this is like live. To do that in the middle of a song, and again, the song is called "We're the Worst Band in the World," which is hilarious. Is freaking hilarious. It's almost like if Frank Zappa, like that album is kind of like if Frank Zappa was like a group that was more melodic. Like, you know, because Frank, if you guys listen to Frank, like, you know, he doesn't really sing, he kind of just mumbles along. It's like if Frank Zappa and the Beatles kind of got mashed together. So yeah, 10cc, amazing band. It is hilarious, man. It is hilarious. It's like, but again, like, I love them, and they were sort of popular in the 70s because they had these pop hits. Should totally do Tame Impala. Yeah, dude, I feel you on, I see the Tame Impala comment, and I totally feel you on that one. Yeah, because I'll just finish up. 10cc is amazing. Everyone go listen to them. They're hilarious, and they really changed a lot of studio recording in the 70s in ways people don't talk about. And then moving on to Tame Impala, like, as I was saying, like, when I was making my History of Psychedelia video, the thing about Tame Impala that I sort of touched on, but I didn't get to go super into it, is they continue to move the ball forward with psychedelic music. Like, they're doing totally new stuff, like, in a way people sort of thought was over. Like, oh, there's not really much more left you can do with, like, trippy shit, but not the case. Like, if you guys have listened, like, I mean, I've listened to the Currents album over and over again, just like, on Let It Happen, right? That whole CD skip thing they do, the do, like that what the fuck? That's so cool. There's no way anyone could have done that before digital recording, because I'm also an audio engineer, so like without getting into like all the specifics, with tape, that would be incredibly hard and require a lot of bouncing and like a lot of precise cutting with razor and stuff. Whereas like with Pro Tools and Logic and Ableton, I think they record with Ableton, digital recording opens up this new like horizon of trippy psychedelic stuff, and I feel like Tame Impala really jumped into that. Like what I like about them so much is that they're psychedelic, like the way we like all the stuff we listen to, but they're not a throwback band. Like they really keep pushing it forward. And like, I mean, fuck, I've been listening to, I don't know if you guys have been listening to, but the album they put out like 2 years ago in 2020, I'm so bad with album names, but like, what is it? Slow Rush. Yeah, Slow Rush. Like, One More Year. Like, again, they do incredible stuff with vocal synth stuff too. Even in, what's it called? In Let It Happen, like at the end there, the way he manipulates like the vocals to be like sort of wordless, but like highly harmonized with, what's the word? Yeah, like with all the vocal synth stuff. It's pretty incredible the way Tame Impala does that. So I think the suggestion to make a video on that, I feel like maybe I'll title it something like How Tame Impala Reinvented Psychedelia, because like, it's true, they're one of my favorite bands, and I feel like everyone likes them. I don't know who doesn't that I know. I'm trying to say, I think like I have a shit ton of stuff on this spreadsheet, you guys, but like, I feel like as far as like shit that I am planning, that's a good little sampling. And yeah, I mean, fuck, made it to 1,000 subscribers, do a little celebratory live stream. I wanted to do this at this time because I know that like if I did it, I'm on the West Coast, I feel like if I did this later, it might be too late at night for anyone to like be here. I thought I might have some wine or something to celebrate, but it's a little early. It's like 3 in the afternoon. It's a little early, but got coffee, so that's that. And yeah, guys, like I think like I mentioned this in my 500 celebration video. I think I might start doing some more like playing. I was trained as a pianist, and then I played guitar a bit. Just because like one thing I've noticed is a lot of the time these video essays take a lot of time and research. And I feel like while I'm doing that, I still want to put out content. I put out a bit of commentary content that you guys probably saw. It might have been a little cringy. So I'm trying to find some content that takes like less time to film that I can put out sort of on a more consistent basis. And so, yeah, that's kind of like, that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. So I just want to say, I think that's it. So I'll probably, I guess the long story short about that is that I'll probably do some more playing as we go forward with the channel. But I think I said this in my last sort of videos, like I'm still doing the video essays, I'm still doing all that stuff. I'm just trying to like diversify the music content and maybe some music theory stuff if you guys are interested, but that might maybe be a second channel, I don't know. All right, well anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this live stream, those of you guys that did. Obviously this will be posted after it's done, but I really just want to say a big, huge thank you to every single one of you guys. Oh, thank you, man. That's really encouraging to hear. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Again, like you guys, like comments like that and shit has just really been like super helpful this year, because it's been like, I'll just say this, like for all of us around the world, this has been absolutely crazy these last 2 years, just everything that's happened in everyone's lives. So I guess like the appreciation you guys show is just, again, it just really helps like to keep going and being like, hey, I want to do cool stuff with music, show people cool shit and whatnot. So again, I guess that wraps into what I was saying, is that like, thank you guys so much. I know every YouTuber, I don't know if I'm technically that, but every YouTuber says that. But honestly, it's like, yeah, man, it's like we're creating like a community of cool music knowledge and music and shit. So I really appreciate it. I'm getting to work on the next video right away. And I will see you guys then. So be well and take care and rock on, music forever. I'll see you guys.